What the fuck is wrong with his face? He's insane. Dude, this is starting to creep me out. Hey guys, welcome back to Chasing You, and it's I'm finally getting back to recording, so it's the first time I've recorded in a while. All the other episodes that I've been posting are pretty much have been pre-recorded, because yeah, there's too much going on here in my crazy household, but things are finally settling down, getting back. I'm still a little tired, but we're gonna be okay. Okay, so the update comes out tomorrow. But I still want to do, I just remembered that I didn't finish Chasing You. I didn't play that one from the previous update. So we're to play that now. And I wanted to play also, I think, a little Wave Patrol. But I still need to start over because I remember that I messed up and I didn't have enough points of something. Authority or something like that? Or is that authority on this one? Whatever it is, I didn't have enough, so I need to restart that one. So I'll probably do that starting tomorrow morning. Yeah, but I mean, the update shouldn't come out until tomorrow night. So I should be just in time to be able to finish up that. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and play Chasing You right now. Last time we were poisoning people. Something of that. Tired of being a victim? It's time to grow some fangs, sharpen your claws, and use the venom. Something like that. Oh, wow. Wow. Alright, let's try that again. They were not trying. Just completely shut down on us. So rude. Oh my goodness. Ugh, I feel like I look tired. Okay. Okay. Would you prefer poison or a bullet? It was super quiet for a second. Okay. Sound just came in. Okay. I feel like if we're gonna be this kind of dangerous, we'd be wearing something a little bit different. I think it's been a while since we've gone through all the clothes, like from the beginning. Let's find something like from before. Wasn't that from like the very beginning? We could roll around that. Ooh. This looks like all detective-like. Yeah, we haven't seen that for a while. Let's rock that. The tea was poisoned, gentlemen and lady. You're all gonna die soon. An unnatural silence filled the room. Eva looked into her cup and said, Melody, are you feeling alright? Eli looked into your eyes, raised his cup, and sniffed it. I have a feeling that you're pulling a silly prank on us. Why would she do that, if I may ask? Just for fun? She took a saucer from the table, waved it around and threw it. It whizzed past her cheek and shattered against the wall. You barely managed to suppress your inner trembling, outwardly and passively smiling. No, ladies and gentlemen, I would never joke like this. Soon enough, you might start feeling a few things. Central nervous system, depression, sluggish reflexes, hypotension, hypoventilation. Edward raised an eyebrow, setting the cup aside. It was a wrinkle on his forehead, and an unkind light lit up in his eyes. I understand that you are now listening to symptoms of poisoning. You serenely ran your finger over your lower lip, wiping off a drop. You still have half an hour before the dangerous symptoms set in, I think. During this time, the guilty person will have time to confess. Melody, if you're not kidding, I'll shoot you right now. My spirit will watch you die from poison and sadness. Elias also tapped several times against the edge of the cup. He looked at each of them in the eye. They must think I'm crazy. Hell, I'm ready to believe that myself. You are crazy. A normal person would have solved the situation somehow more peacefully, but I'm so tired of all this. And what do you want to know? The truth. Who pushed me into the lake? Who set me up at the hotel? Who wants to scare or kill me? Who benefits from me being a scared little animal? Why are you so sure that one of us is doing this? You breathe in the steam rising from the mug, trying to put your thoughts in their place. Because that would explain a lot. I have a hunch. This is like logic versus intuition, yeah? Explain a lot? All the trouble started at the ball. Remember the chandelier? In the garden, Christopher and Edward tried to intimidate me with some kind of curse. Then weird things happening at the hotel. Eva, you were around. Edward and Elia, as far as I know, were in town too. Then I lost my friends in Sweden, and Eva and Elia no doubt come to my aid. Christopher and Edward also ended up there under unconvincing pretext. Don't you think I have a million reasons to suspect you all of some kind of scheme? Eva put her hand to her chest and took a deep breath. Don't you think this is paranoia? And by the way, not everything revolves around you. Yeah, so let's discuss the events that are. Elia tapped his fingers on the table, frowning about something. I understand your concerns, but poison? Melody, that's too much. People have been trying to kill me all this time. Somebody shoved me into a fucking lake. Really? I'm tired of being a victim. You felt the skin on your face tighten, turning into a stone mask. I will no longer be intimidated. I need the truth. 3 random corpses are very difficult to hide. You even made a sobbing sound and coughed softly. Twisted your lips in a nasty grin. 2 mafiosa and a rich boy came to a deserted island to have fun. The three of them took drugs and died from an overdose. What a sad death. Edward chuckled unkindly, but leaning back in his chair. Covered everything, haven't you? Clever girl. I will grieve terribly for my friends. We had known each other for so long, and they were wonderful people. Clasping his hands in front of him and lowering his chin on them, the man suddenly said, You are so much like your aunt. Looking into his eyes, I'm not gonna shudder. Thank you. A very flattering comparison. Your aunt is a killer. Even a liar are impressed with your endurance. I'm sure she didn't mean to harm your father. It was he who acted like an idiot. No man in his mind will risk his life for a silly whim. Eva took a few wheezing breaths and clenched her teeth. Why is she over there sobbing and wheezing? Is she alright? Melody, what the hell? What are you doing? I just told you. Elia frowned and you leaned forward, pressing her with your gaze. Do you have something to tell me, Eva? I helped you. And my grandmother. You know everything. Have you told me everything, Eva? Someone's breath you didn't make out whose was barely audible in the silence. The girl's eyes ran across the room and she took out her gun. I swear I'll make as many holes in you as there are bullets in this thing. Well, that just proves you're guilty. Like, you lean back, dispassionately watching the wave of panic in her eyes. If I die, the poison will kill you sooner than you'll get to the hospital. Eva's fingers clenched and unclenched several times on the pistol grip. Her cheekbones were noticeably white under the makeup. Where's the antidote? I don't know yet. The girl quietly howled, slamming the gun on the table. There's no big secret. Then there's no reason not to tell. It's Anya. She wants me to start a relationship with you. She needs Annette's business. Detailed. But poison? Then you better hurry. Keep the story engaging, detailed, and not too long. Because the boys have something to share too, right? He smiled sweetly at the frowning Elia and the impassive Edward. Eva clasped her hands in front of her and mumbled. Eva's pale palm slammed the document on the table, crushing and even slightly tearing it in the middle. I don't believe you. I don't need your trust, only obedience. Be a good girl and go to England. And be a good old woman and explain clearly what the deal is. The woman tapped her fingers impatiently on the table. Silver Hairs is my big partner. Her death, greatly disrupts our plans. As if you have no other partners left in England. Like Annette? No. She was the most reckless. She'd agreed to any scheme. Anna looked out the window, hugging her own shoulders. People like her don't die a natural death. Violent death is your specialty, Anya. The woman's eyes became cloudy. Half of our transactions were done through Annette. She made us a clean checkout. We supplied her with wood. She gave us premium furniture. That was for customs. In fact, 2/3 of the wood was practically dust, 3/4 of the furniture were shabby chairs, and the turnover of money was like for elegant mahogany dressers. And there are idiots at customs, right? Trust me, baby. Restored antiques are selling like hotcakes in Russia. Eva curled her lips, sitting down on the edge of the table and pushing some papers onto the floor with her hip. Without blinking, Anna carelessly fluffed up her hair. The scheme isn't perfect, but pretty darn close. Recently, I received a call from Sweden, and you know what? They have been unsuccessfully trying to bust a net for 2 years. This Gustav fellow asked me to share the trick, but as you see, there is none. Everything is legal. The woman grinned and immediately turned serious. You have no right to lose this channel. The business will be inherited by her niece. There's a certainty that she will immediately approve of our methods, so we must act subtly. Then why don't you get my mother to do it? She's temporarily unavailable. Eva clenched her teeth and her nostrils widened as she took a deep breath. It has to establish a close relationship with her, win her over to our side, and make sure she gets the business. What am I to you, a notary? Shall I draw up the documents for her? It's a little more complicated than that. There are some conditions indicated in the will. Crossing her arms over her chest, Anna silently looked down at the hiccuping girl. Shameful. Damn you to hell. Eva's head jerked to the side, almost hitting the wall. Grimacing, Anna rubbed her sore palm and said through clenched teeth, Your father was the worst thing to ever happen to my family. Eva's wheezing breath quickened, her hands clenched into fists. Tidy up before Harris sees you. If you dare screw up this case. She fell silent mid-sentence and straightened her shoulders, walking away. The door behind her closed with a barely audible click. Sometimes silence filled the room. Something rustled, the cork popped out of the bottle with a squelching sound. A dry, hoarse sob was interrupted by a long gulp, then more and more. Minutes dragged on, filled with alcohol. Leaning back on the toilet, the girl looked aimlessly at the ceiling. Another half hour and they will start looking for me. I should go down, probably. The click of the door lock, Eva's shoulders clenched as if expecting an attack. She got back on her feet, gritted her teeth, pushed open the both door with her palm, and stared at Miss Harris's back. Eva, lost in thought, was kicking the chair with the toe of her boot. So what do you suggest I do? Keep working, Eva. Are you gonna run away already? I don't want to be part of this adventure of yours at all. You're just like your father. You whine all the time instead of doing things. That's why you killed him, right? So he'd whine less? A heavy silence hung in the receiver for 10 seconds. Then Anna Popovich, this calm voice said, I didn't touch your father, Eva. I don't know where he is. The girl gasped and straightened up as though she was impaled on a stake. If you promise to be a good girl and see this through, then I give you my word that we will look for him. I don't know, guys. What are you thinking? We buying this? That's all that's true. If all that's true, then I do kind of feel a little bad for her. Huh. I don't know. Eva shook her hair and nervously fidgeted with the thin strands using her fingers. You felt your heart beat faster, betraying your excitement through a vein on your forehead. An old photo came up before your eyes. Mom and Dad's arms, her arms thrown up in the air, him kissing her neck. This girl went through a lot, and Your nose started to sting. You narrowed your eyes, concealing a sob behind a loud sigh. I'm gonna die if I don't find out who's after me. Tears slowly receded under the onslaught of desperate fear. Let them say that I'm a villain, and I'll just do everything I have to survive. You have a close relationship with Eve. I do? So I'm no more than a task for you. And what am I to you? You fell silent, taken aback by her words. I didn't know much about you before that ball. Same goes for you and about me. But now I know exactly how I feel. What about you? I feel something like friendship. I'm not gonna be like, I think you're weird. Let's go for I feel something too. Eva will remember that. You bit your lip and held your breath. Silly, why did I say that? Eva nodded, a strange smile sparkled on her lips. Ooh. Maybe I'm leading people on again. I don't know if I should have said that. Jesus. We just had that whole thing with Alexander last episode. That was a mess. You're a crazy, hysteric person. You poison just so you can interrogate me. You get into trouble all the time. But I like you. You're interesting. Elia cleared his throat, drawing attention to himself. Ladies, it's all very touching, but I'm not feeling well. Looked away from the girl and stretched her lips in a semblance of a smile. We're the first candidate for survival. What did you say? What do you say, gentlemen? Isn't it time for you to be honest with me? A teaspoon gently tapped on a saucer. Edward wiped off the remnants of the cream from the edge of his lips with his finger. I find it hard to believe that such a good girl could do this. You're bluffing, Melody. I'm sure it's not good for you either. What do you think about this, Elia? The man folded his hands on the table in a bearish gesture. First, tell me, what do you think about our collaboration? Are you currently interested in my business with you? With your boss or with you? With me. It's nice to know the person who is trying to kill you likes you. I consider you a partner. I mean, I think he's... I still remember vividly the scene with him consoling her after at the funeral. I just think that was just very, very sweet. That's why I hate to think that he have anything to do with any of this. But honestly, I don't know what he's gotten into with his boss and why he's involved with his boss. The man flashed his perfectly white teeth at you. Let's sort this out like partners then. If I could, I would have done so from the very beginning. Well, it's still nice to know it's not personal. Leaning back, Elia relaxedly threw his hands behind his head. Well then, since the witch has gone first, do we have enough time for a beautiful and tragic story of my life? Or it'd be better if I kept it short? No. Please tell me all the details. I demand my antidote. I swear you will get it, even if I die. Edward looked at you with mocking skepticism. You turned away. So? So. Mr. Check asked me to give you his warmest greetings. Tell him to tone down the temperature. Wait, did I get authority for watching the whole thing? The woman leaned forward, put her elbows on the table, and placed her chin on her palms. Her eyes sparkled with slyness and pleasure. She watched as the man laid long cards with descriptions on the table. How much this time? We got almost everything. Only that old watch. The watchmaker called us and said that you... Yes, asked him to take them straight to his shop. Good. We've withheld them until your confirmation. And it stroked her cheek with the finger. You're a smart man, Elia. And not bad looking. Thanks, Mrs. Silverharris. It's a shame that Melody's a little stubborn. I would introduce you. She wrinkled her nose, mindlessly sliding her eyes over the cards. I think she acquired from you a lot of positive qualities, such as stubbornness, for instance. The woman burst out laughing, throwing her head back. I would definitely like you two to meet. If I were her age, I would never have let such a man go. Are you sure about that? You kind of went through a lot of men. Just... Elia grunted vaguely, for some reason aligning the cards in perfect order. Your niece is a very profitable party. She's primarily a good person. Annette frowned thoughtfully, fidgeting with her fingers on the table. Much better than me. Remember this if you ever come across her. Elia smiled broadly and calmly looked down at her. Annette, without blinking, was looking out the window, and a strange longing could be seen in her eyes. I still don't understand why you're keeping this guy around. He is strange. He's my friend, Harry. Fine, that's your business, but listen. About Silverharris. She says her brother is getting out of hand. She's considering taking him out of the scheme. She's gonna say that there will be no more money. He'll be furious. He'll get over it. Don't let him in here next week, okay? And also, I have to inform Popovich that the charitable contribution this year will decrease. Although the final amount depends on Harris, of course. I'll get it done, boss. Thank you, my boy. What would I do without you? Melody isn't like Annette at all, boss. It's unlikely that she would cooperate with us. Your job is to make sure she can safely inherit everything she needs to. We will continue to solve problems as they arise. You know the terms, right? She must get married. Then marry her if need be. It would be even better that way. Such a beautiful and clever girl. That would be my pleasure. Make sure no one gets ahead of you. I've been hearing some interesting rumors. Be careful. Besides Sky, someone else is making moves out there. Sky? Was that Edward's dad or something like that? I can't remember. I could guess we weren't playing alone. I just didn't know who it was. I suggest you don't bother with this. Just keep doing what you do. You were silent for a while, digesting the information. And what? You believe that I'm a good person? Some skepticism on his face, Elia looked into the depths of his cup. Well, in general, yes. We all have have difficult times in our lives. You snorted, trying to suppress the sudden pounding of your heart in your throat. So you got a tip about me. First Auntie, then your boss. So... do I mean nothing to you? Did Auntie set Charles up? Do I really want to make this personal? I mean, it's not like we're dating. Should I make this personal or like keep it about business? I don't know. Do I care if she set Charles up? Either way, he's a freaking murderer. I also think we should maybe make it personal. Lord. If only to build relationships, because that kind of came in handy when we were dealing with the whole Dante and such and Eliza, was it back in first season? Like, we didn't lose them forever because I had to be somewhat flirty with them along the way in order to get that to happen. Lies, pleased with the way you're thinking. You're a frightened little girl who needs to be protected from vultures. And you are one of those vultures. He awkwardly drummed his fingers on the table, then cleared his throat. Well, you interest me as a person, honestly. You bit your lip, try not to look at him. I can't trust you. Even if Auntie did this to her brother. Elia lowered his head a little, as if looking at you from under lowered glasses. Did what? She set him up. She used him to launder money. I disagree with you. He acted of his own accord. She never forced him to do any of this. But she supported his gambling addiction by paying the bills. Very cute. Rage started bubbling in your soul, finding no way out. You wanted to yell, to throw and smash the dishes. Auntie, the more I found out about you, the more... honestly, the more I dislike her. You suppressed the urge to cover your face with your hands. You wanted to hide from the terrible sucking emptiness inside. There's nothing left of my family. Even the good memories are ruined. You raised your dry red eyes at Elia. In the end, it was a cynical attitude that drove her to the grave, wasn't it? Elia's sigh suddenly becoming unusually serious. I'm not supposed to know this, but she tried to help him. She had him treated. And he fell out of therapy time after time. I don't really know the details. You can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved, Melody. She might have found another way. You have no right to judge without walking a mile in her shoes. Don't tell me that you don't judge her. We all have to throw around conclusions in situations we don't really know anything about. I don't know what she went through and why she did that. Fine, whatever. You bit your lip, dug your nails into your palms, fighting back the tears. She did the wrong thing. From your point of view, maybe. From a lot of people's point of view. Like, I am being persecuted right now because of all the shit that she did. Like, why don't I have a right to judge her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that. Like, if that shit didn't have anything to do with me, then that's one thing. But I'm paying the price for everything that she's done her entire life. Like... But my point of view is not the only one, I understand. Honestly, it's the only one that matters, because I'm the only one here who's being manipulated and threatened and shit. To be fair, Eva's being threatened. But you know what I mean? It's like... I'm the only one being manipulated and threatened because of her. So... Like... Well, she brought me into this shit. Then she made me the sole heir of the will. Like, she had to do that shit. Oh, Lord. You close your eyes, but you can feel Elias' gaze. I understand your feelings. You may not approve of the other person's decisions. But throwing conclusions and insults is not an option. It will only make matters worse. Well, nobody's being forthcoming until I threaten them with poison. So how exactly am I supposed to know what those reasons are? And like, why seriously, I still don't understand why I should care. Throwing your head back, you abruptly inhaled air through your nose. I can't talk to her personally anymore, and to shout and condemn her, no, I'm above that. Let's get back to the important question. Yes, let's talk about the main thing. As you can see, it was not profitable for me, much like the witch, to intimidate you. You nodded reluctantly, clenching and unclenching your fist, and all eyes in the room turned to Edward. Edward, now I want to hear your side. In absolute silence, your ears caught the singing of birds and the splashing of waves far outside the window. A gravel driveway rustled under the wheels of someone's car. You forced yourself to focus on Edward's face, which stubbornly blurred before your eyes. No. No. I have nothing to say, Melody. You're bluffing. There's nothing in this tea. Your foot is here, and you suddenly noticed how brightly freckles stood out against the skin. Has he turned pale, or is it my imagination? Not the type to resort to poison in cold blood for information. You're a sensual girl, delicate. You've been afraid of worms as a child. Fear is closed around your throat like a steel collar. How did you know? Just a guess. Did I guess right? That's not a guess. You are definitely a stalker. Like hell you guessed. You definitely knew. That's why you said it so confidently. Your heart started beating a few times faster. Edward, looking at you in the eye, lifted the cup, saluted it, and drank serenely. See? There's nothing in it. I do not like being openly made a fool of. It smelled of ozone. You felt the very space between you humming slightly. Thanks to your close relationship, Eva supported you. Eva, breathing hard, stared at Edward with wide eyes. It's good to have a slow metabolism, right? Biting her lips, she exhaled briefly in your direction. If I die because of your slowness, I swear I will find you in hell. Turning away, she shot a glance at Elia. Elia didn't support you because of your cold relationship. He returned her absolutely indifferent look. Lazily waving a spoon in the air, he stared at you with interest. There was genuine joy in his eyes and a silent, well, how are you going to get out? Only one partner supported you. Edward waved his hand as if driving away a stupid fly. You managed to convince one of them, but failed to win over the other. I didn't know I was supposed to be winning them over. Bad job, Melody. When you bluff, you keep it up till the end. You bit the inside of your lip. This isn't a bluff. The man laughed offensively, throwing his hands behind his head. Yeah, sure. I believe you. Your hand gently stroked the surface of the table. Your fingers came across cold metal and you bit your lip. Edward's face suddenly softened and got filled with endless sympathy. Melly, I understand that times are tough for you. Let's let the guys go. Stay here together, talk. I can help you. What's with these sudden mood changes? First he hates me and my aunt, then he sympathizes, then he gets angry. Or all these shifts. Are him and Christopher the same person? Wait, but no, that can't be possible because we shot somebody. I'm definitely not staying alone with you. You're the only remaining suspect. What the fuck is wrong with his face? He's insane. Dude, this is starting to creep me out. I know you will, Melody. I could really help. From his insinuating tone, icy shivers ran between your shoulder blades. He's seriously been stalking me. It was like a siren started screaming in your head, warning of an explosion, and you saw it as if in reality. The window, but it's on the second floor. I won't make it. You dashed towards the window and saw the haystack. Thank you to whoever put it there. Through memory, your mind no longer clouded by fear allowed you to hear the sounds coming from outside the door. Yo, man, there was nobody here, you see. I really felt like someone got in here. Let's go back to the store. There's nothing hard or pointy in there. The watchmaker. That's why he was back. I heard him. Gods, why didn't I figure it out back then? You felt yourself choking. He was there, watching me? From the very beginning? Something in your face made Edward tense. The man narrowed his eyes as he leaned forward. Because of your close relationship with Edward, sees no point in sparing you. Okay. I did hear about this glitch. No matter what, if you have a good relationship with him or not, it says that, even though it's not supposed to. Like, I know personally in my circumstances, I've done nothing that suggests that we would have a close relationship, actually. I even did the kissing with him, so that shouldn't be there. I did hear about that. Yeah. So I know that much is not supposed to be there. But, You're losing your mind. You're starting to imagine things, right? You're just unhinged, Melody. Your auntie's death has had its toll on you. Nobody believes you but me. But you have to be a good girl, listen to everything that I say. You ever tapped her nails on the table, getting your attention? I didn't like you from the very beginning, redhead, and I'm starting to like you less by the minute. Why are you trying to get into her head? Edward pursed his lips, keeping his gaze stubbornly fixed on you. Leaning forward, Edward whispered, I know everything about you. I have all the answers, Melody. Think you know what happened, isn't that right? Or not? Do you really know what decisions brought you here? Could you change something, remove someone, or save someone? Your head was ringing as though someone slapped you on the back of it. You closed your eyes, calling out to your mind. Whatever he's trying to accomplish right now is not what you want. Took a deep breath, caught the scent of Edward's cologne, and shuddered. Something came to mind. Premonition or a memory. This is a path of logic, they said. This sounds more intuitive, so let's go for the memory. You breathe out quietly, feeling goosebumps running down your arms. Oswald, gods, how could I forget? The door leading to the bright April has once opened in front of you once again. Parking lot was still empty. You reached into your pockets to find the person in the window? All of a sudden, goosebumps ran down your back and your fingertips grew cold. You raised your head and looked at the windows. I could have sworn that someone was staring at me a second ago. Your eyes darted from the window to window as you tried to fight back the panic welling inside. Even if there were, what's the big deal about it? Why did it scare me so much? A curtain in the second floor window started swaying. You held your breath as you tensed up. I asked Oswald to bring in your stuff. Where should I tell him to take them? Into the room and looked at the window. Behind your back there was an air current. Immersed in your thoughts, you hardly looked at the new servant. You put your suitcase on the floor, gets up, and looks you in the face for a whole second. He looks terrible with that wig on. And those glasses are ridiculous. God. As soon as the door closes behind him, you throw him out of your memory. You open your eyes, turning to the present. Edward was looking at you as if he saw everything you did. You were there, in the mansion right from the start. Bastard, you were following me. His features became harder and acquired some kind of solidity. You're just like your aunt. You think the whole world revolves around you. I didn't need you. I needed Annette. So this is true. Is it really him to blame for all that's happened? Tell me, everything from the very beginning, in detail. I know what makes you think you can set the conditions. I still don't believe in your poison. You clenched your teeth, grabbed your fingers into what lay under them, and jumped up. Would you believe this, asshole? The bearer of a gun now stared Edward in the face. Melody, put my gun back right now. Looking into your eyes, Edward pulled a small pistol from his boot. Surprise. Mother... Without wasting time, she snatched the second Glock from the holster with a swift movement. Pointing a weapon at Edward, she yelled, Drop the gun, you moron. And you too, Melody. Out of the corner of your eye, you saw that Elia pulled out his own gun, but hasn't aimed yet. I need answers from him, and I'll get them now. Edward's lips were curling more and more in some kind of wrong grin. Your assumptions, Melody? What was I doing there? Okay, so we have leeway here to just kind of choose at random, because no matter what, I'm not going to finish this episode. Actually, I will. Because apparently I need to go back and somehow build up my relationship more with Elia too. Which probably means I need to go through with that kissing scene with him at the beginning of the ball. But that makes me feel super icky. And I don't know if I want to do that. Because now I feel like every scene with him is kind of tainted. Because like, it's not like he didn't care specifically, but really he was just in it to marry me just because his boss told him to. Let's try, I don't know, Spite on My Family seems... Well, why? To steal something. Still what? I think that is a question, though. Let's just try Spy for now. Partly, yes. Annette Silverhair has robbed my father of a normal life. Father said he has made peace with that he was not looking for revenge, but I knew it wasn't true. I was waiting for the moment when he would snap, and it happened. Did you know that back then, before the ball, they were selling stolen antiques together? Annette has been clean since that ball. And so 2 years ago, an old acquaintance knocked on my father's door. He said Annette Harris is back in business. What about you, Cadigan? Hold on, Cadigan? Lucas Cadigan? KD Gun Company? Edward mockingly bowed in his direction. Eva arched an eyebrow out loud in confusion. The only competitor to one of the branches of Annette's business, as far as I know, a dying competitor. Edward's lips twitched at the corner and he ignored the remark. Annette is back in business. How curious. She needs money. What is she cooking? He leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. It took me a year and a half to find out. So appearing to hit our company very hard. And that was when we thought she had completely forgotten about my father's existence. He started speaking faster and faster. He even slightly ran out of breath, as if he had been keeping these words to himself for so long that they were bursting out of him. So in the back of the house, you heard some commotion and knocking. Something is happening out there. I should check. Check. And turn my back on the unhinged asshole. Whoever it is, I'm sure they'll figure it out. That's alright. You continued staying there, watching as Edward became more and more heated. Words kept pouring and pouring out of him, and a wet strand of hair stuck to his forehead. But Annette knew how to hide her secrets. I lacked information, so I came to your house. She just up and didn't recognize you? Right. As I told you, she didn't care about my father or his sons. That was so like her. To destroy someone else's life and then not give a damn about it. A wig, some casual makeup, and a flawless errand but boy job. I confess I miscalculated the maneuver with Charles. He turned out to be too fragile. His eyes flickered and a foreboding feeling washed over you. What is this nonsense? What do you mean by that? I need to loosen Annette's scheme, set her up to make a mistake. I recommended risperidone to him to help with his bad mood. Among those side effects is aggression. Who knew that he would get like that? It was like a bell struck your chest, responding with a painful ringing in every joint. It's because of you he killed her? Don't be silly. It doesn't matter anyway. What matters is that she's dead. She died. And you came on stage. It was terrible and beautiful at the same time. Blood was pounding in your ears, beating out a wild, demonic rhythm. You could have been intimidated, tricked. I could do whatever I wanted to you. You could come right into my arms, if not for these Japanese, Swedish friends of yours. He curled his lips. Disgust was oozing from his eyes. It's you. It's all because of you. You killed her. You made my life a living hell. He leaned back, looking at you with a gentle smile. An eye for an eye. No, that doesn't track, because you say she made your dad's life hell. I don't understand how that made your life hell by comparison. You're still a rich boy. I don't understand. Because you don't have your dad in your life? Well, Annette's dead. My parents are already dead too. So what does making my life hell have to do with anything? That's not an eye for an eye. What to do? Act out of rage or remain silently angry? Act out of rage and do what? I don't even know if I want to decide. Because I feel like this episode's not supposed to go like this anyway. The glitch thing with Edward, we don't even know how that would change anything. Would it be like a John situation from Shadow of Saint 4? Would John at least felt bad for him? This guy's story doesn't even make sense. I don't know. I want to waste the gems yet. So for now, I'm just like, I'm not gonna do anything. Your lips so hard that your mouth filled with the metallic taste of blood. Your chest got extremely tight, preventing you from breathing normally. I hate you, Cadigan. Why is he bloody? Okay, that's a glitch, because that seems like what she would have done to him had she acted out of rage. I'm really sorry, Harris. I hope we can get along. You raised the pistol with a trembling hand. Now you let my brother go and we will leave peacefully. No. He abruptly turned to the voice coming from the door. Christopher was standing in the doorway holding Rachel in front of him. So should I have gone and check it out? But I will left this deranged asshole at my back, and I can only trust one person in this room right now because of how things went down. Somehow I feel like this would have ended the same way, because this isn't the finale. So they tell you who the bad guy is, and then you have to deal with run around chasing him. To finish this off. Somebody was like, I asked them did they like this episode. And they were like, well, yes and no. I'm very disappointed with how things have gone. Highly disappointed. I don't know. Like, I don't... This all seems kind of really stupid, to be honest. And I'm just... I don't know. I feel like I'm lacking my normal enthusiasm for the story. Which is... I used to have a lot of fun with this story, so it's really a shame. Let's just finish it. I think, pretty sure this is probably the end. The barrel of the pistol was tightly pressed against her temple. Melody... Okay, guys. Look, I'm just gonna briefly state that I think this episode was kind of silly. I think this episode was silly. This made me think that I definitely need to go back and make some different choices. I'm still wondering why Sam is not around. It seems like right now is the best time we could use a detective around. And like the two detectives that we know are suddenly like nowhere to be found. I don't know. It seems really silly. So Christopher is a person. They're not the same person. He does exist. Okay. And they're both psychotic. Fun. And they're blaming Annette for all their problems, which it doesn't really seem like they even have any. I don't know. Like, their dad can't walk, but like that scene that really was kind of on him. And she let him on, but ain't nobody telling him to go climb on top of the fucking ceiling like an idiot. Like. And it doesn't track. You can't go like eye for an eye. Like Annette's dead. Like, like her life is gone. Like, to ruin. Like, you wasted all that time. Like, you're not ruining her life. You're just ruining mine. And I didn't have shit to do with shit. So like, and she didn't go out of her way to ruin your life either. Like, I can't understand how his life was that bad. Like, and especially since he said his dad didn't want revenge and that he was fine and he was over it. So it wasn't like he's just been acting like a crazy person this entire time either. So I don't understand how they think they're suffering. I really don't. So that just pisses me off. So like, they not only are the bad guys like these like the supposed big bads of the story, like they don't have a good reason to do so either. Like their reasons don't make sense. Nothing that I said has made any sense as to why they're doing this to me. Like a good bad guy needs a good motive, and they just don't have one. Like, all I've seen it and done is just making me mad. Like, I feel like the story has like taken a crash and turn. And I was wondering where they were going with bringing all these new characters in and adding all these other shits. I still honestly don't even know why Eve was introduced into the story. I don't even know. Was that just a twirl of thumbs to give us something to do, like somebody else to point the finger at while we waited for Edward to pop up? Him and Christopher. I don't know. I feel like this whole season has been wasted. Like, I don't know, I feel like that was supposed to be like a really big reveal. Like, towards the end, like, oh man, he's been there since the beginning. He's supposed to be like, oh shit. But I'm just like, I'm also just sitting here like, why? What kind of sense does that make? I don't know. Like, I don't feel like somebody pulled the rug out from under my head. Like, there weren't any, like, clues to make this happen. They just, like... Well, I mean, sure, slight clues, but no clues that would tie them to this person. You know what I mean? You can't, like, go back and think, like, oh, man, this is such and such happened. Like, we never saw this Oswald character because we would have recognized him to begin with. You know what I mean? And it would have been cool had they showed him up there. But I'm pretty certain he wasn't there. I'm pretty sure somebody would have figured it out by now on Reddit or somewhere. So there's been no clues for us to figure it out. You're just telling us that this is what happened. So it's not as cool as, like, say the Moonborn reveal when we realized that the Ethan guy, was it, his name is Ethan? I don't know. Well, the whole time you thought it was that one bad guy from Europe, but it was really the other guy. And then you realize that the whole time the other guy, the sidekick, was having conversations. You're like, oh shit. We just assumed that he was talking to this guy, but he was actually talking to somebody else. You know, Ethan Wood, I think his name was. Yeah. So that was cool. Like, I still remember that. I remember being excited about that because, like, I didn't see that shit coming. But this shit, like, I don't care that I didn't see it coming. Because, like... I'm done. Okay. Yeah, so I need to replay, I guess, if I care. I don't know how much I care about the story anymore. Tell me your thoughts. That's always fun. Go ahead and do that for me. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this part right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and show the like button some love, subscribe to see more content like this, and I will see you next time. Bye!